Hello, it's Dr. D. So, I am so excited because it's April 15th, and as you know, it's the beginning of Brain Tips 3.0, English Language Learners and the Brain. So, what I want to do is I want to explain to you how this series is going to run because it's a little different from the other brain-based series. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be connecting TESOL International's 6 principles of exemplary teaching for English learners, right? So I'm going to take those 6 principles which are connected to instruction, and then I'm going to connect that with the brain-based science and information on the brain and the brain of English language learners, so that connection can be made so you can have a really better understanding, and number one, in understanding TESOL's 6 principles, right? And then its connection to teaching and how the brain is the umbrella of all of this and why it can make such profound difference in your instruction and understanding ELs by having the connection with the brain. So let's begin. So TESOL International, drawn on decades of research on language pedagogy and language acquisition, created a set of 6 principles for exemplary teaching for English learners that can be used with any language program that exists. Now, for those of you who know me because you've been following my series, or you don't know me because this might be your first time, joining in to Brain Tips, my strength and focus is math, science, and STEM. So of course, all of my examples are going to go towards this math, science, and STEM because that's the area that I've found general education teachers have the least amount of resources and knowledge is how do I teach this math, science, and STEM to an English learner who comes into my class with all these different levels of language acquisition. So that's why all of my examples from the brain of math, the brain of science, the brain of learning another language are all going to be connected to math, science, and STEM. So let us begin with the 6 principles of exemplary teaching for English learners by TESOL International Association. Know your learners. Teachers learn basic information about their students' families, languages, cultures, and educational backgrounds to engage them in the classrooms and prepare and deliver lessons more effectively. Create conditions for language learning. Teachers create a classroom culture that will ensure that students feel comfortable in the class. They make decisions regarding the physical environment, the materials, and the social interactions of students to promote language learning. Principle 3, design high-quality language lessons. Teachers plan meaningful lessons that promote language learning and help students develop learning strategies and critical thinking skills. These lessons evolve from the learning objectives. Principle 4, adapt lessons delivery as needed. Teachers continually assess as they teach, observing and reflecting on learners' responses to determine whether the students are reaching the learning objectives. If students struggle or are not challenged enough, teachers consider the possible reasons and adjust their lessons. Principle 5, monitor and assess student language development. Language learners learn at different rates. So teachers regularly monitor and assess their language development in order to advance their learning efficiently. Teachers also gather data to measure student language growth. And Principle 6, engage and collaborate within a community of practice. Teachers collaborate with others in the profession to provide the best support for their learners with respect to programming, instruction, and advocacy. They also continue their own professional learning. I'm sure many of you have heard the statement that if a child learns a second language, or a third or a fourth, by the age of 5, that child will learn to speak it without an accent and very quickly. So my question is, what happens in the brain that's different for a student who enters the country to learn English after the age of 5, and especially after the age of 9? And could that processing difference in the brain be a reason that more students who are learning to speak a second language after the age of 5 are more prone to be recommended for special education classes and special education services? So we will learn the answer to that question on the next episode of Brain Tips 3.0, English Language Learners and the Brain. Until then, happy sciencing, Dr. D.